Hi everyone, it's me Nana, and today I had the pleasure of talking with Luigi Boccia, who's not only my friend and a gorgeous human, but he's also an amazing singer. And we talked a little bit about that, but we mostly talked about love, courage, and encouragement, which he needed to finish the 2 full marathons he recently ran. Amazing opera singer and a marathon runner? Let's see what's shaking in Nana's kitchen. Hi Luigi.
Hi Nana.
Thanks for stopping by today. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Thank you for having me.
We got some catching up to do.
Yes.
But first, as always, it's our potion master Paul, our magical mixologist, ready to shake something up for us today.
Hey Nana. Hey Luigi.
So can you tell us about what were you like as a kid?
For kids, young kids growing up in a small town in Italy, it's almost mandatory that you play soccer. You know,
right.
You just need a ball. Sometimes, you know, you don't even need a proper field. You can play on the street. Right. But I never liked soccer, and I never pretended that I liked it. And I knew that that would cut me off of the social experience with you know, my friends. But as a trade-off, that gave me time to start listening to records and fall in love with music, opera, you know, singing in general. I did not sing thinking that I had a beautiful voice, or thinking that I had a talent, or thinking that the singing that I was doing was good singing. That was oblivious, innocent.
But were you good right away?
Honestly,
did people tell you you were good right away?
I think people stopped. They were perplexed when they would.
Always the reaction you want when you're singing.
I think you should celebrate some singing.
I think they were perplexed because I had a strong. Ooh,
did you hear that?
That's a good sound.
That sound means it's almost time for cocktails.
That's right.
Ooh, look at that.
You two keep talking while we get these ready.
Okay.
Looks promising.
So, people were perplexed.
They were perplexed because I was a young kid, but I could make a lot of sound. And I sang with an old sensitivity because I've always been a sucker for beautiful melodies, and just a melodic style appeals to me. And so that's what I think stopped people in their tracks. It was both the type of voice, but also the sensitivity for a certain type of music.
Did it sound like you were ready for opera even when you were a kid? Wow! Oh my goodness, I can't wait to know what we're going to be drinking.
I need to top this off a little bit here. I'm not going to skimp people.
Is that mine or Luigi's?
It's Luigi's. Well, I'll top. So Luigi, we're going to start with you because you are our guest, and guests get to be served first. Your drink is the Il Contento because you're a happy person.
Oh, that's lovely.
And then Nana, we're doing a French 67.
Wait, that's my birth year.
It's a big coincidence, I know.
It's like we planned that.
So this is a riff on the French 75 just for you.
Ooh, one of my favorites. I can't wait.
All right.
Well, cheers.
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 Thank you.
Ooh. Mine's a two-hander. Did you start singing opera right away?
No, this is how the story goes. I was in 3rd grade. A new monk arrived in town, and so he was interested in recruiting kids that were wanted to sing. And he scheduled this audition at the convent. I went to the audition, and they were auditioning us on a French song, French Christmas song, that we were singing in Italian. And you've probably heard the song is pum 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 pa pa pum pum pum.
Oh yeah, everybody knows that one.
And they wanted to hear a child specifically on the line because he envisioned a child singing that line.
Sure.
So we all went up and, you know, did this thing, and I was towards the very end, and when I finished singing my line, I still remember that moment, because I think that's one of those pivotal moments in life where in hindsight, when you look back, you're like, your life really does this, you know. I don't know how to explain it, but it
Right.
takes a
Yes.
new course, right? I remember at the end of my little solo there, he looked at the organist and he said, and the organist's name was Gregory, he said, "Gregorio, we have found what we're looking for." And I just can't describe to this day the way that resonated, made me feel. That was a moment of things coming together, whereas I just felt seen, maybe, or someone was saying, what you actually have is what we need for this, and that was special. So that energized me incredibly, and it made me so enthusiastic about the whole singing thing.
Do you feel that the music that you put out into the world is a huge part of you sharing your love with people?
For me personally, when it comes to music and when it comes to singing, my idea is human connection. My idea is to tell through the singing, to share through the music the emotions of the human experience, and in that way to connect with people on a genuine, authentic, sincere level. So rather than singing at people or singing to people, I really think of singing as singing with people. Whether you're actually singing or not in the room, I feel trusting enough to bring you into my singing, because whatever I am channeling, I am not channeling something magical or secret or special. I am channeling the joy that I feel. I'm channeling the pain that I feel. I'm channeling the sorrow or the melancholy or the longing or the bitterness of a situation. And in choosing, to express those feelings, I want to emphasize, I want to highlight the beauty of this shared experience and the fact that it's shared.
When I think of you, I think of how much heart you have and how you're not afraid to be open and show your heart to the world. And I find that a lot of people are very guarded and they're cautious because they don't want to be vulnerable and they don't want to get hurt. So we have walls that we put up. But when I first met you, and every time I've been with you since, I don't feel that with you. I feel like you're very open. Your kindness and your vulnerability, I feel like kind of comes through. And even in your performances, in your singing, and you're speaking about your life, there's this wonderful heart that you have. And to me, that's courageous. That's courage. And I'm wondering how, in your past, in your background, what made you have this quality that you could feel open and not guarded and have this kind of sense of courage about how you approach the world?
The word courage comes from the Latin word cor, which means heart, and ago, which is a verb from which the word action comes. Ago agis, agi actum agere. Actum is the root for the word action. So I thought, wow, courage is really the ability to act based on what's in your heart. And what's in your heart? The heart is conventionally considered the seat of love. And so to have courage really is to act on that love that's within us. And courage is one of the proteins of love. You know, it's a building block. And maybe that is the reason why we associate the concept of courage as in bravery, as in ability to face fear, with something that literally means to act on the love that you have inside you. And then as a result of that, I started thinking about the word encouragement. And that kind of blew my mind, because encouragement really means to lean into that love and also to share it, whether it's encouraging yourself or whether it's encouraging those around you. I know that I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be the person I am, I wouldn't be thinking the way I think about love if I had not been encouraged so much. In other words, if I had not been loved, if that love had not been shared with me. So I joke, but I really feel I want to be a CEO. I want to be a Chief Encouragement Officer.
You're hired.
Thank you. And I want to, I'm passionate about encouragement because I do think it does wonders. You know, everyone can use a little bit of encouragement. But speaking of the chubby kid that never played soccer, you know, I never thought that I would run a marathon in my life. I started going out for a run at Grand High School running track. Day after day, I realized that I was able to add a few minutes, and after a while, I realized that I was running for an hour and a half and I could do it and I was enjoying it. Whether or not I would call myself a runner, whether or not I had a running technique was completely irrelevant. Which really taught me another lesson. Simply put, when you want to do something, do not worry about fitting in a box or you know, under a label or a category. You do whatever you want to do on your own terms.
Just go for it.
Exactly. And you know, I said, oh, maybe I'll run a marathon. But as the date was approaching, and then of course, you know, I signed up for the Berlin Marathon because we were going to Berlin, and I figured, oh, the marathon happens around the same time, so I'll run the marathon in Berlin. Well, I started the race, and things are going well, but then around kilometer 15, I felt unusually tired for being approximately mile 7, mile 8. You have to run 26 miles. So I felt unusually tired. And during my training, I had been able to run 18, 20 miles, up to 20 miles, you know. So I knew I could do that, but I don't know if it was the nervousness of the race. And so my husband, Jared, of course, who was there to cheer for me, and they have these, you know, 5Ks, they call them replenishment stations.
Sure, yeah.
So there was a replenishment station at kilometer 15 where I was starting to feel a self-doubting big time. So I drank my water, I started running again. I had not seen Jared. I thought, oh, maybe he's gonna wait for me at the next stop. But then I ran around the corner and I saw him. And as he saw me, he just said, hi, Luigi, to call for my attention. And then he said, in the most matter-of-fact way possible, he said, I'll see you at 25. Because he needed to run, take the subway, and meet me at the other replenishment station.
So now you had to get to 25.
You have no idea what kind of injection of
courage.
That was courage. That was love.
Yeah.
That was love through courage. And it was so matter of fact. It wasn't like, come on, you can do it. I hopefully see you at 25. No, he said, I'll see you at 25. And he ran into the subway because he wanted to make sure I would be there. And then the second time that I ran the Berlin Marathon, because I did it twice, both times in Berlin.
So you finished that one.
I finished.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Jared could not go with me to Berlin this time. So I was there and I was running with some dear friends. And for the first half, I felt really good. But in the second half, I struggled psychologically.
So you needed the encouragement.
And there are a lot of people that are cheering for you. And some of them were also so sweet. I remember a lady, you have the bip with your number, and a lady on the on the route said, Luigi, is this your phone number? You know, they do things like that that make you giggle, right? But I was struggling psychologically, and you were there with your thoughts. And the friend that I was running with has 3 adorable children. And they were all waiting for their mom to go by, and she's much faster than me. But then they stayed, they basically stuck around a little longer to wait for me. And I was so in my head at that point that I had not paid attention to the fact that they were so close, but they saw me. And the 3 kids started screaming and yelling, Luigi, go, Luigi, go, Luigi. And that already meant so much to me. But the youngest one, Paul, who barely speaks English, does something that still brings tears to my eyes. Because the other, you know, I keep running because they want me to keep running. Don't stop, don't stop. Paul starts running with me for 150 meters, 200 meters. And as he runs alongside, he's like looking into my eyes, and the only words that he was saying were go, Luigi, go, Luigi. And he's running with me. And I'm just like, I want to start bawling because the moment is so pure, and I am so grateful, you know, for a kid to understand the power of that love. You know, I just felt transported by that. And then, as if this was not enough, towards the very end, kilometer 38, kilometer 39 is really where, if you talk to people who do these very long races, it's so tricky because you're practically there, but your body and your mind
ready to shut down
are so ready. So even 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, it seems eternity.
Yeah.
I am with a group of runners because at that stage during the race, you try to run with other people, because if you see someone fading, you're like, you know, like, come on, I'll walk with you, we're there. So it was 4 or 5 of us. And there's this guy right at the 38th kilometer mark that out of the blue, as he sees us going by, he says, come on guys, you are there and you know it. This is what a marathon is about. It's a fight with yourself right now at this stage, but you got this, you can do it. And we were all like, you know, it was kind of a shock, because it's almost as if this person had been plopped there from the sky. And
your marathon angel.
Marathon angel. I'd be honored to be a kilometer 38 angel for other people. You know, that is when encouragement makes a real difference. So I share these examples as I could choose so many of them, but these are recent and they have made such an impact on me.
So we all need an encouragement angel near the end of our race.
Yeah.
We all need that.
And dare I say that in the marathon of life, you're already playing that role.
Oh, thank you.
Many people.
I try.
How's your drink?
Fantastic.
It's almost gone. Do you need a refresher?
I would love one.
Paul, tell us what is in our cocktails or mocktail.
So Nana's is the French 67, which is in honor of Nana's birth year. 67 was a pretty good year, I think.
I think it was. I think some really fun things happened.
Well, one fun thing is it brought us Nana.
Ta-da!
So in our French 67, which is a riff on the French 75, we have gin, and I've used this wonderful gin, Mermaid Gin. This is from, I believe, the Isle of Wight.
Oh.
Which is very interesting. There's a lot of good gins coming from that region, not just Scotland, but Scotland in particular, but Isle of Wight is not to be denied. They're good gin.
It's not just a pretty bottle, people.
That's right. So we have some gin in there, about an ounce. If you want to go a little heavy, you can go ounce and a quarter, ounce and a half. We've also added some Amaro. This one is the Amaro Nonino, which is a wonderful ingredient you might know from the paper plane. This is a very different drink here, though. And then we'll add some lemon juice, some simple syrup, and then I've added kind of a selection of bitters. You can use Peychaud's bitters, lime bitters, grapefruit bitters, lavender bitters. There's a little bit, well, surprise bitters in your drink there,
Nana. A little
Nana.
festival of bitters.
That's right. What I also like to do with drinks, and this is in both of these drinks, is use a little bit of salt solution.
Right.
We salt our food to bring out the natural flavors. You put just enough, not too much, but just enough to enhance those flavors. And so that's what we've done here. Try that with your drinks. You don't have to do it all the time, but it's super helpful, especially in something like this where there are botanicals.
It's working.
Good. And then we topped it off with a sparkling rosé. It's a Brut rosé. This is from a local vineyard, Benza Vineyards. Wonderful people there, wonderful place. You can use whatever you like. You could use champagne. You could use a different rosé sparkler. But this is what we've chosen today. So that's all put in a nice glass.
It is delicious.
Stirred up with some good garnishes, as always. Luigi, for you, we have, again, created the Il Contento. Which is not just happiness, because as a language nerd, there isn't exact translations, because exact translations don't capture the spirit of what you're trying to convey.
Sure.
So it's close to happiness, it's close to contentment, but there's something extra in Italian that I think that word brings, and you, I think, embody a lot of that. So that's why that drink is for you.
You're the little extra.
That's right.
I'm the lot of extra.
So with Luigi's drink, it is trying to get close to what a French 75 would be with all these extra flavors. But again, there's no gin. And you could use a non-alcoholic gin if you'd like to. There's a lot of different products out there that you can use to get something close to what gin is. They especially work well with mixed drinks. You wouldn't necessarily make a martini with a non-alcoholic gin, but you can put it in something like this, and it really can help it sing along with the other ingredients. But I decided not to use a gin here. So what I've done instead is use these 4 different bitters that we've talked about: lavender, the grapefruit, the lime, and the Peychaud's bitters, which have a little bit of a licoricey kind of flavor. So you're getting a lot of botanical flavor from this. Instead of the gin, we've used a little bit of the sparkling apple juice, and then the lemon juice, a little bit of simple syrup, and then this wonderful Zilch, which is a Brut non-alcoholic wine.
I love the name.
That when I bought it, they carded me, even though there's no alcohol. It was nice to be carded at my age, too.
That's hilarious.
And then we stir that up and put a nice garnish in there. And I know those are like extra fancy garnishes, which is why I told you, you gotta make it look pretty, but then you can always take a garnish out of a drink. You can put it back in, you can do what you want with it. It's there to have that kind of expressiveness with it. And then what I often do for most drinks is I'll take a lemon peel and then you just kind of express that over the top. Get a little bit of that lemon kind of oil, that scent to it, and then some more botanicals for the whole experience. And so there you go.
Just gorgeous. Well, Luigi, this has been so wonderful. Thank you for being here in my kitchen and talking about all these wonderful things like encouragement and love and...
Not to take the last word from you,
Luigi, please have the last word.
No. Please have the final word. But I just want to say thank you too for what you bring into the world. Speaking of goodness of the heart, there is so much goodness in you and desire to do good, and we're thankful for people like you in the world. So keep doing what you do. Keep up the great work.
My heart. Thank you, Luigi. That's lovely of you to say. And Before I shed a tear, we're gonna see you next time and see what's shaking in Nana's kitchen. Cheers. Cheers. Oh, yours is done.
Cheers.
Luigi needs a refill.
You got it. Oh.